In the last 2 days, just look at how scattered it's been with the heavy showers all across the southeast. You see why it's so hard to forecast if you're getting rain or not in the summertime. These pop-up thunderstorms certainly do give you a headache when it comes to forecasting. And, you know, we have the front to focus on. That's going to help us in the forecasting today. The front itself is going to move south a little bit. It is going to allow some lower dew point air to move into places like Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. We get it, Atlanta, maybe. So let's look at this forecast getting in through today. Certainly if you're along the Gulf Coast, the front is not coming through here. We're going to focus showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today. Afternoon thunderstorms popping in eastern South Carolina, South Georgia, northern Florida. I mean, you look at this. But you notice the absence of any thunderstorms firing up in Tennessee. A great pool day, a great day on the lake. Beautiful weather up here today. Even northern Alabama, like Huntsville, the Atlanta area, and then north of there, I think Blue Ridge, a great day to be out in the lake as well. Looking good. Now, the front stalls out, though, just south of the area. So that's going to be a focus for showers and thunderstorms getting into the rest of the week. Plus, we're going to add this dip in our jet stream as we get into the end of the week and watching a wave of low pressure form along this front. So a lot of moisture is getting pulled into the south and east as we get into the weekend, too. So get ready for some even bigger rain coming in by your weekend. Now, looking at the forecast for, parts of Tennessee, Alabama, especially the northern part, it's going to be the end of the week that we get back into the rainy pattern. We keep it all week, though, in places like Charleston, Savannah, Tallahassee, Jacksonville. You're in the mix as well. And here we go with that forecast in Jacksonville. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, thunderstorms in the forecast. And I would give you an even greater chance of getting some widespread showers and storms as we get into your Friday and perhaps into your Saturday. All right, the middle of the country today, Jim, this is probably our best chance this week of seeing a lot of severe weather. Yeah. Coming into the Northeast. I hate to rush the nice weather that you have because it's going to be gorgeous today and tomorrow and even Friday. So enjoy that. But things are going to change, and that's because of this front that we have in the south, the front that we're talking about that gets stalled. There's going to be a wave of low pressure that forms along it. So that is moisture that comes along with that is going to come up here into the Northeast. High pressure next 2 days. Love it. Enjoy it in the Northeast. Bottle it up because it's not going to last. By the time we get into the weekend, high pressure moves off the coast. The winds come out of the south, and this low pressure comes in behind it. So now moisture is coming back. Dew points are coming back up. Rain could be heavy at times. It could be quite windy as well. Now, right now, no indications that anything tropical will come out of this low, but tropical moisture. So we know that's going to be there. The rain will be there. And with the low right off the coast, we know it's going to get pretty windy as well. So we are watching for that. Here's a look at your forecast, because at the same time that's happening along the coast, that big trough is digging in, the same one that's causing severe weather today across the plains, the Midwest tomorrow. We watch around the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley getting into your Friday. So that's moving along. And as we get into Saturday, it's both of these combined that will bring the active weather to us here into the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. It is not a good weekend. Yes, temperatures won't be as crazy hot as they've been, etc., but there's a lot of rain in the forecast, and we see that into Sunday as well, especially up into New England by the time we get into Sunday. Thunderstorms with heavy rain, again, going to be another concern. And the winds, very windy out there, very blustery kind of conditions. So let's take a look at the models in terms of how much rainfall. Heavy model expected across the portions of especially the Mid-Atlantic into the European model. The GFS model doesn't show as much. I know the contours weren't showing up, but just know that both models are showing us some indications of heavy rain coming in. In fact, exactly where we're going to fine-tune that as we get into the next coming days. D.C., it was so wet yesterday with 2.79 inches of rain. Our first rain in, 21 days? And we're about to get back into a very wet pattern getting into the weekend. All right, let's go to the Southwest where, Jim, it's been, all about the monsoon and some severe weather.
Yeah, and usage of power yesterday, right?
Yes, and it's probably going to be higher today, actually, more record usage of power due to all the heat. And there's two ways to measure a heat wave. It's either how high the temperatures get or the length. And if you play bridge, which I do, you always measure length over strength. So when you measure your hand, you know how good your hand is going to be. We've got a number of days coming in, a good length of hot days coming in here, but the numbers are also going to be pretty high, and they could be looking at records. Big ridge of high pressure settling in. The heat advisories are up, as you saw. We got temperatures again going up to 104 in Dallas today, hitting 99 in San Antonio. Houston, we're right up there as well. And the feels like is going to drive us up above 110, and that's the problem, right? Dew points are still up. It's not like this is a dry heat. We got 23 million people with highs above 100 degrees today. The big ridge of high pressure, the reason why, it's getting squashed right here over the southern plains. So we're really going to be feeling the heat, not just for a couple of days, but for a week plus, maybe getting on about 2 weeks. So we we look at the forecast tomorrow, it's even hotter, 106. These are the actual numbers. This is not the heat index. And you should know that the actual temperature is taken in the shade. So it's going to feel even hotter out there when you're out in the sun, and you factor in the dew point. Dallas, 1 degree away from a record high tomorrow. The record to beat is 107. We're going for 106. And Jim, this is not a mirage. Dallas is also a little dusty. All right, it's hump day. It's Wednesday. Throw the maps on the floor and get your day started. Some Wednesday wisdom for you with this forecast. Southeast, we can't shake the thunderstorm activity. Well, some of us can. We'll tell you who. The front is on the move a little bit, and we will actually get some dry times ahead and some lower relative humidity air. That's going to feel nice. We can't catch a break in Texas. The heat remains. A string of 100 plus is on for us here in Texas. Plus, we go up into the central plains and northern plains. The chance for severe weather today. Today's the day that we have the chance for tornadoes. Terribly high, but it's up there, Jim. More elevated than we've seen lately. It's about like 3s out of 10 on the
and even tomorrow we have a chance.
Yes.
And then we have that whole disturbance kind of works its way through the southeast and pulls that rain up the East Coast just in time for the weekend.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to AIM-HQ. You have made it to Wednesday. I'm Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Jim Cantore. Can I also be frank with
Always?
you for a moment? It is National Hot Dog Day.
But I'm bummed.
Americans eat 20 billion staring down at days and days and days of blistering heat.
And even after the sun sets, nighttime does not bring much relief.
All right, 100 or hotter.
Where we have the fires across the West, yesterday was a very active day. We actually saw a big jump in the number of fires larger than 100 acres in size, up to 70. That was actually 20 more fires that started yesterday. A lot up here into Washington, into parts of Idaho. In California, the Ferguson fire still continues to go strong, and you can see that big flare-up of smoke on the visible satellite yesterday. That's the one that's affecting Yosemite. Just a shroud of smoke completely covering the park there. You can't even see Half Dome, although trails are still open. You can actually go into the park. All right, elevated fire risk today, especially across portions of Oregon into Idaho, even into parts of Utah as well. Dome of high pressure, really going to get the squeeze plate into the south and southern plains as we get into the next couple of days. But of course, dry, no substantial rain for us out there across the southwest to really help with that firefight, especially there in California. And then also the southern plains, the heat, a big story as well. All right, Reynolds, let's talk about this next story. Fun.
Okay, thanks so much. Meanwhile, across the pond, the world's greatest golfers are gathered.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and that gets us into the end of the week. So let's just focus on the next 2 days first, and I'll get to that. This actually was the past 2 days. You look at all this rainfall through the southeast, and you notice how scattered it was. So hard to pinpoint exactly where these summertime thunderstorms fire up unless there's something to focus on. And we do have a front now that's coming in. That's going to help us focus where we see showers and thunderstorms. For some of us, it means we'll get some dry days. Nashville, that includes us. Look at our dew point dropping into the mid-60s. That feels good. Lower humidity air coming into Tennessee right now, seeping into northern Alabama, parts of northern Georgia, maybe even western South and North Carolina. But if you're in the southern parts of all these states, like all the way down into southern Mississippi and southern Alabama, look at those thunderstorms already popping early this afternoon. And there'll be a few showers popping up here across the northern parts of the state. But by far, as that front shifts a little farther south, that will be the area to focus on for showers and thunderstorms over the next couple of days. So we watch this boundary, and then we watch what happens to a potential low pressure forming along the boundary. It's going to help pull in more moisture, and this moisture we're tapping comes in from the Atlantic, it comes in from the Gulf of Mexico, and actually there's a tap we can trace all the way down into the Caribbean by the time we get into the weekend. So yes, there's a lot of moisture to work with this next system as it gets here right off the southeastern coast. So for Charleston, South Carolina, we could easily see 3 to 5 inches of rain. We are in the pattern where we do not get a break. We get the scattered showers and storms today and tomorrow, and then we get into that low, helping kick off additional thunderstorms at the end of the work week into the early weekend. So looking at Jacksonville, that includes you, we've got thunderstorms popping up today and then tomorrow, and then by Friday that low is in the vicinity. It's going to keep some thunderstorms in the area right into Saturday, a very stormy time here. Now, when it comes to severe weather, though, that might not be the case in the southeast. It will be the case across the plains today, Jim.
Yeah, severe.
This front, the same one I was just talking about with that southeastern forecast, focusing the showers, and this low that forms along the front, it's not just a southeast thing. So at the same time that's happening, this is happening up across the Great Lakes. This dip in the jet stream, this low tracking in, this is the one Jim was talking about with severe weather up here. I have to tell you, this reminds me of a winter kind of situation, right? When you've got two systems, do they combine forces? Does the energy from one help the other? Probably. And we're going to be looking at this low along our front in the south, move up into the mid-Atlantic at the same time pulling up all this tropical moisture. Now, is there the chance that this thing becomes tropical? Probably not, but it's not zero, so we'll keep an eye on that. Anything goes in the tropics, we know, so we'll watch that. More than likely, though, it's just a low right off the coast along the front that brings rain and a lot of wind. Again, if these two systems combine forces, there could be a lot of wind, very gusty conditions, blustery kind of weather, not in the cold sense, but just in the windy sense. And we see that Saturday into Sunday in the Northeast. I was just looking at the amounts of moisture that we have out here off the coast. Precipitable water, we were talking about that yesterday. The numbers that we're going to see just along the coast and off the shore by the time we get into Saturday and Sunday here in the Northeast rival, if not are higher than what we saw yesterday in the Northeast. So the kind of rain that we just saw, we could do that again. Streets filling up with water, the FDR, we had that filled with water. Yes, that kind of rain could come our way. We look at the European model and the amount of rain it's putting out. Biggest totals coming in from South Carolina up to North Carolina, but decent amounts coming in out here up into parts of the north and east. Then we look at the GFS model, has even higher amounts of rain up into parts of New England. So all things we've got to consider. We are still several days away from this happening, and there'll be changes in the model forecast. We got to watch and see how this energy plays out across the plains and, of course, where that low sets up in the south and east. But regardless, we know there's going to be rain this weekend. So plan for this in D.C. Saturday and Sunday. D.C. yesterday was our first measurable rain in 21 days, but now we're back in this wet pattern. Reynolds.
Okay, Jen, thanks so much. Well, let's check out
power usage yesterday.
Yes.
Seems like you're going to do it every day, actually, of the next 12, maybe, based on this heat that we got coming. Heat advisories are up across Oklahoma, the heat watch in Dallas and Waco, the heat warning in Abilene and San Angelo. A lot of heat issues, and it's about the number of days in a row that we're going to see as much as it is about these big numbers. I was surprised it was one of your hotter days, Dallas, in the last 2 years, because I feel like we do get hot, and this is the time of year we do it, right? It's mid to late July. Temperatures are going to heat up in Texas, but we're getting to numbers that we haven't seen in a couple of years, and it is going to last. 23 million people with highs above 100 degrees today. Big ridge of high pressure, that's controlling the heat, and it gets the squeeze play right over the southern plains as we get into the rest of the week, meaning we keep the heat, and it actually gets worse right here over Texas and Oklahoma. So tomorrow, we're going to 106 in Dallas. We bump it up a few degrees in San Antonio and also into the Austin area. Look at Dallas, 106 for you. That's going to be just 1 degree away from the record of 107. Midland, we're going up close within 2 degrees. San Angelo, we should break the record of 106. Saw there's a lot of brush fires now popping up across the hot and dry areas of North Texas. That's going to be, I'm thinking, an added concern in the coming days. We're not getting any rain. I mean, look, there is nothing. There's hardly a cloud in the sky to break this heat. Dallas, our average is 96. We are at least 10 degrees above that going in for a good stretch of right through the weekend into early next week. Plus, the other thing about Texas, Jim, is that it's dusty.
It is dusty.
It's Wednesday, midway through the week. You made it. It's hump day. We got your maps on the floor, show you what's happening as we kick off here this Wednesday. Now, thunderstorms in the southeast are going to fire up again, but there is the chance that some of us don't see rain, and we might even lose some of the humidity in the south. We'll show you where coming up. We're not losing any heat. In fact, it's growing in Texas. The heat wave continues. Temperatures hitting 100 plus, and then we'll go up to the chance for severe weather. Today into tomorrow, the risk for thunderstorms, hail, damaging winds. We bring up lately. It's summertime, Jim, in July. It's not often a big risk, but this week we've got to watch it.
I actually think we could have 2 out of 3, if not 3 out of 3 days of very active
severe weather. Yes.
All right, so that's something you have to watch on. Welcome back to MHQ, everybody. You made it to Wednesday. I'm Jim Cantore.
And I'm Jen Carfagno. Jim, you were very frank earlier today. I will be again.
Please do.
It is National Hot Dog Day.
Okay, listen to this.
Across the West. 70 active fires right now that are greater than 100 acres in size. And yesterday was a busy day. 20 new fires were added yesterday. And that was especially up here in Idaho and portions of Nevada and also into Oregon. So we still are tracking the Ferguson fire and the Georges fire here in California. You can see them from space. I mean, look at all that smoke. And yesterday was not a good day. The heat was a big part of the story there for that Ferguson fire, which is affecting Yosemite Park. Still open, but there's going to be, of course, some impact, especially roads on the west side. All right, so let's take a look again at that water vapor and finally getting some moisture into the area up here, especially coastal areas of Washington and Oregon. It's not going to make a huge difference, but a little bit. Look at this. We've got some moisture coming into Southern California. There is some rain actually heading into the area. It's a thunderstorm cluster that's dying out, Reynolds, but at least we have some moisture in the atmosphere here.
Anything helps the firefighters, Jan.
You don't know where these things are going to pop, right? We know there's going to be scattered thunderstorms, and you get rainfall that looks like this, which is what we've had over the past 2 days. Very scattered in nature, a little more focused here along the Gulf Coast. But in the coming days, this front is actually going to make a difference as to where we see more focused showers and thunder showers. So we look at these dew points. Nashville, this is fantastic to see our dew points drop into the mid-60s. Really nice feeling air out there. You step outside, it's noticeable. You take a breath of fresh air. You call in sick to work and just enjoy the day. I mean, you really got to take advantage of these kind of days, right, in July. Enjoy it there. Knoxville, Chattanooga, you get a little taste of that. Maybe northern Georgia, northern Alabama, Huntsville. I think you're going to have a couple of good days as well. But we look at where thunderstorms are going to fire up. That boundary is the focus. So it's along it and south of it that we're going to see most of the thunderstorm activity. And we watch that right through the afternoon today. Not to say we don't get a few showers that pop farther north, but it's really focused along into the south. And unfortunately, it's right over us here in central and eastern South Carolina, Georgia. That's where we're going to see a lot of thunderstorm activity in the coming, not just couple of days, but we're going 5 or 6 days in a row with thunderstorms in the forecast. So the front stalls out. It doesn't make much more progress than that. And by the end of the week, we also have our jet stream digging over the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. That takes a pretty deep dive for this time of year. So that energy, plus the fact that we have this boundary and we're going to see a low form on that, bringing up a lot of tropical moisture, means heavy rain is going to be in the forecast. So we'll watch that getting into the rest of the week. Middle Tennessee, you guys have great weather for the next day, too. After that, storms come back into the picture, rain heavy at times. That's because of that big trough dipping in. But then, of course, we have our boundary, and it's stuck right here into the south and east. And when the low forms on it, it's going to mean some heavy rain. Jacksonville, that includes you. Thunderstorm chances, sort of the hit or miss kind today. And then tomorrow and Friday, we start to get in, I think, the more stormy regime with some heavier rainfall coming our way, continuing into Saturday. Charleston, you guys have a wet stretch ahead. Myrtle Beach as well, looking for a lot of thunderstorms. Then for the big severe weather, we go to the middle of the country, Jeff.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of rain is coming in. A lot of rain is coming in. So look what happens. So this front in the south, we were just talking about this, that's going to bring all the rain to South Carolina and parts of southeastern Georgia. That low forms there. Same time this trough is digging down across the Ohio Valley, even into the Tennessee Valley. Pretty deep for July to see this kind of trough building that far south. So, this reminds me of a winter kind of situation. If this was wintertime, we'd be saying, is this jet stream energy going to couple with this low off the coast? Are we going to see some phasing of these lows? Are we going to see a winter storm? Those are the kind of questions we would ask if this was January. But it's July, so we're going to ask, what's the track of this low? How far inland is this heavy moisture going to get? It is tropical moisture. There's a connection all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, right through the Atlantic, and actually to some extent to the Caribbean too. So a lot of moisture coming in this weekend to the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. There's still some uncertainty on the track of that low and exactly where the heaviest of rain will be, and that's going to be part of the forecast challenge getting into the rest of the week. Regardless, we know there's rain in the forecast here. The challenge is really just fine-tuning who gets the heaviest of rain, and we'll have that risk for flooding. Oh, and I need to mention there's going to be a lot of wind too. So we bring in wind and heavy rain. We just have to worry about trees coming down. So we'll talk about that too getting into this forecast. DC, we ended our dry streak of 21 days yesterday, and we're back in the rain this weekend. Reynolds.
All right, Jen, thanks so much.
So, you go back and you look at Dallas history, and yeah, we've had long stretches of 100 plus. In fact, 29 times we have at least 10 days in a row of 100 plus. But it's been a while. Jim mentioned that 71 days. That summer, that year, August 2011, it was the year that we had the 71 days. Also, the last time we had excessive heat watches like this up for the city of Dallas. So this is a big deal. This is not just your typical, run-of-the-mill summer heat. Yes, it gets hot in Texas in July and August, but this is going to be a long stretch, and that's part of the problem with it. We've got 100 or about 23 million people, I should say, with highs over 100 degrees. That's where we are today. The heat really is going to do a squeeze play, though, on the southern plains, and that's where numbers stay up there, not just above 100, but the feels like is going to be above 110 for all these consecutive days in a row as well. That's why those heat advisories and warnings have been posted. Look at Dallas tomorrow, 106. That's 1 degree away from the record. And Jim, the other thing about the air over Dallas, it's hot and it's a little dusty.
It is a little dusty.
All right, happy Wednesday, everyone. It is hump day. You made it midweek. Can you make it the rest of the week? Let's get you going with that forecast today. I'll tell you what, it was a very busy day in the Northeast. Much better today. That front actually getting into the south. Who does it remove the chance for rain for? We'll let you know about that. And also the southern plains. This heat is on, and something is happening in Dallas. that we haven't seen since 2011. So it's been 7 years. We'll talk about that as well. And then the threat for storms starts in the plains, moves east. The threat for hail, damaging winds. There's also the risk as it evolves. It's going to be something we might expect, you know, in the fall or even the winter. But to see a pattern like this in July is not that often. Pretty rare.
I mean, we are going to have a trough of low pressure that comes all the way down to the northern Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
so with, you know, anomalous things, you can sometimes get
crazy
anomalous
weather.
things. So, you know, we're talking about severe weather in the middle of summer. Welcome back to MHQ. I'm glad you made it to Wednesday. I'm Jim Cantor.
And I'm Jen Carfagno. Jim, we've been very frank with everyone today.
We have.
Yes.
That's definitely in your and I's agenda here. Hey, the reason why we're telling you is because it's National Hot Dog Day. I figure what it could be like the size of Rhode Island or something.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
we saw that new little island that formed just off the coast there. All right, let's talk now about volcanoes because they aren't just transforming into new land and the landscape on the ground. They also can influence the weather above them.
All right, let's bring in Dr. Marshall Shepard, host of Weather Geeks podcast with more. Dr. Shepard, thanks for joining us as always. The weather most associated with volcanoes, what is it?
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Yeah, this is really
Way on the east side, the trades are coming in from the northeast, so they're carrying all that upslope, and so you can just crank out the rain.
exactly, Jim.
That have blossomed across the area. Yesterday, we gained 20 additional large fires, which are greater than 100 acres in size. That puts us at 70 right now. A lot of those new fires were up here in Idaho and northern Nevada and also into Oregon. We're still really following, though, these fires in California. The Ferguson fire, only 5% contained. It was so visible from satellite yesterday. And the heat, of course, playing a big role in just really the firefight here. It's really hard to fight this fire. The Georges fire, you can also see from satellite. Today, that fire risk is elevated still across portions of the Northwest, despite the fact that temperatures are coming down a little bit up here. Now, we go from up there, where there has been more moisture coming in. You can see that change in the pattern, change in the flow. But look at what's happening in Southern California. We are getting rain. This would be a big deal if we get some rain all the way to Long Beach, and it's possible. I mean, we take a look at this big cluster of thunderstorms, and overnight cluster of thunderstorms. It's fizzling, but there's a little bit still left out there. I don't know, Long Beach doesn't look great, but if we did get rain, it would be the first time in July in 3 years. So that could be something. Reynolds.
Okay, Jen. Well, we go now across the pond with the